Success has a way of silencing laughter. One minute you're sitting at your family's Thanksgiving table enduring their mockery of your dreams, and the next you're signing million-dollar contracts while they scramble to understand how they got it so wrong. That's how it was for me, Olivia Mitchell, founder and CEO of Secure Stack Solutions. Though my family still saw me as their wayward daughter who'd thrown away her stable accounting career to chase some tech fantasy, more turkey, Michael. Mom beamed at my older brother, who sat at his usual place of honor at the table. Michael, the golden child, the Harvard MBA who had landed a cushy executive position at Anderson Global, one of the largest consulting firms in the country. The vegetables for Olivia, Dad added, barely glancing my way. She needs to save money now that she's, what are you calling it, an entrepreneur? The way he said it made it sound like a dirty word. I pushed my green beans around my plate, remembering the morning's investor meeting, the one where I'd presented my cybersecurity platform to a room full of venture capitalists. The one my family didn't know about because they'd stopped asking about my work months ago. Actually, I started, but Michael cut me off. Speaking of work, he announced, straightening his designer tie, I've just been promoted to Senior Vice President of Strategic Operations. Mom clasped her hands together in delight, Dad's chest puffed with pride. Even my younger sister, Emma, usually absorbed in her phone, looked up with interest. That's wonderful, honey, Mom gushed. Tell us everything. I sat back, my own news dying on my lips as Michael launched into a detailed account of his latest corporate triumph, the corner office with a view of the city, the team of 20 people under his command, the six-figure bonus. Now that's a real career, Dad said pointedly, not some pipe dream about computer programs. They're advanced cybersecurity protocols, I corrected automatically. And the market need is. Oh, honey, Mom interrupted, her voice dripping with false concern. Are you still pursuing that hobby? I thought you'd have gone back to accounting by now. Michael smirked. Playing businesswoman again, Liv? How cute. The condescension in his voice made my blood boil. If they only knew what I'd been building over the past 18 months. The late nights coding, the endless pitch meetings, the breakthrough when I'd finally cracked the encryption algorithm that made my security platform unique. It's not a hobby, I said firmly. Secure Stack is a real company. We're actually about to. Remember when she wanted to be an astronaut? Emma piped up, giggling. At least this phase is less dangerous. The table erupted in laughter. Even Aunt Patricia, who'd been quietly working on her third glass of wine, joined in. I think it's important to support Olivia's creativity, Michael said magnanimously. Not everyone is cut out for the corporate world. Some people need to learn the hard way. I gripped my fork tighter, thinking of the term sheet sitting in my bag, the one with 7 zeros on it, the one that would change everything. But looking at their laughing faces, I realized something important. I didn't want to tell them. Not yet. Let them laugh. Let them dismiss me. Let them think whatever they wanted. Because in less than 24 hours, I was going to sign the biggest deal of my life. I forced a smile and reached for the green beans. You're right, Michael, I said. Some people do need to learn the hard way. The next morning, I sat in my small but growing office in downtown's tech district. The space wasn't much, just 2 floors and a converted warehouse, but it was mine. The exposed brick walls were covered with white boards filled with code. The open workspace hummed with the energy of my small but brilliant team. Morning, boss, called out Jake, my first hire and lead developer. He was already at his standing desk, 3 empty Red Bulls testament to another early start. Big day, I replied, trying to keep my voice steady. Maria, my COO, appeared at my elbow with a steaming cup of coffee and a stack of papers. The lawyers have reviewed everything. The terms are solid. I took a deep breath, remembering the mockery at yesterday's dinner. If my family could see me now about to close a series of funding round that would value Secure Stack at $50 million. But they couldn't see me. Not yet. Because the best revenge isn't telling people how wrong they were. It's showing them. My phone buzzed, a text from Michael. Hope you're not too discouraged after last night. I know a few entry-level positions at Anderson if you're ready to get serious. I was about to respond when another message came through, this one from Atlas Ventures. In lobby. Ready when you are. I slipped my phone into my pocket without replying to Michael. Let him think I was discouraged. Let him think I was failing. The truth would hit him hard enough soon. Maria, I called out, straightening my jacket. Let's go make some history. As I walked into the conference room where 3 of the biggest venture capitalists in tech were waiting, I couldn't help but smile. My family thought I was playing businesswoman. Well, game on. The Atlas Ventures meeting changed everything. 50 million, Jake whispered as we left the conference room, the signed term sheets safely in my bag. We're worth $50 million. No, I corrected him, unable to keep the smile off my face. We're worth $50 million on paper. Now we have to prove we're worth even more. The next few months were a blur of activity. The funding announcement made waves in the tech industry. Secure Stack Solutions raises $15 million Series A to revolutionize cybersecurity, read the TechCrunch headline. My inbox flooded with congratulations from former colleagues, college friends, and suddenly interested recruiters. But not a word from my family. I hadn't told them about the funding, hadn't mentioned the press coverage, hadn't breathed a word about how Secure Stack was now being called the next big thing in enterprise security. Instead, I focused on growth. We moved from our converted warehouse to a full floor in a downtown high-rise. My team expanded from 12 people to 50, then 100. Maria hired a PR team, a sales force, and enough developers to build out our platform's next phase. We need a chief technology officer, she announced one morning, dropping a stack of resumes on my desk. Someone with serious enterprise experience. I flipped through the candidates, former Google engineers, Amazon architects, a whole parade of impressive names. But one caught my eye. David Anderson, current head of security at Anderson Global Consulting. My brother's company. Interesting timing, Maria said, watching my expression. Did you see the news about Anderson Global's data breach? I hadn't. A quick search pulled up the headlines from the previous day. Major consulting firm suffers security breach. Client data compromised. Their whole system was exposed. Maria continued, they're scrambling to contain the damage. Rumor has it heads are rolling. I thought of Michael, Mr. Senior Vice President of Strategic Operations, probably in crisis mode right now. For a moment, I felt a twinge of sympathy, then I remembered Thanksgiving. Set up an interview with David. I decided. And Maria, put Anderson Global on our prospect list. Something tells me they might be in the market for better security soon. 2 weeks later, David Anderson sat in my office, looking both impressed and slightly uncomfortable. I have to admit, he said, adjusting his tie, I was surprised to get the call. Secure Stack's reputation in the industry is remarkable, especially given how young the company is. We move fast, I replied, unlike some larger, more traditional firms. He winced. About Anderson Global, you've heard about the breach? I have. Sounds serious. It's worse than they're admitting publicly, he continued. The existing security infrastructure is outdated. Management refused to invest in upgrades, and now... He trailed off. Let's just say I'm not the only one looking for new opportunities. I leaned forward. What if I offered you not just an opportunity, but a chance at redemption? Help us build something better, something that could have prevented what happened at Anderson Global. David's eyes lit up. You know, he said slowly, your solution is exactly what they need right now. Have you considered? We have. I cut him off. But large consulting firms aren't really our target market at the moment. We're focused on more forward-thinking clients. The message was clear. If Anderson Global wanted Secure Stack's help, they'd have to come begging. David joined us the following week. Under his leadership, our technology team doubled in size. We landed contracts with 3 Fortune 500 companies. Our valuation climbed to $200 million. Still, I said nothing to my family. Mom called occasionally, always with the same concerned tone. Olivia, honey, are you still doing that computer thing? You know Michael's company is always hiring. I'm fine, Mom, I'd say, sitting in my corner office overlooking the city, the same view Michael had bragged about, just 10 floors higher. Then came the call I'd been waiting for. Ms. Mitchell, my assistant's voice crackled over the intercom. There's someone from Anderson Global Consulting online. They're requesting an urgent meeting. I glanced at the business news on my second monitor. Anderson Global's stock had dropped 30% since the breach. Clients were leaving. The board was asking questions. Who from Anderson Global? I asked, though I already knew. A Mr. Michael Mitchell, Senior Vice President of Strategic Operations. My brother. Finally, I said, savoring each word. Tell him that my calendar is quite full, but my junior associate might be able to fit him in next week. His assistant says it's extremely urgent. He's willing to come to our office immediately. I thought about all the times Michael had talked over me at family dinners, all the condescending comments about my hobby, all the smirks and eye rolls when I tried to explain my vision. Next week, I repeated firmly. And make sure he goes through all the proper channels, every single one. As I hung up, my phone buzzed with a text from Mom. Honey, are you free for dinner tomorrow? Michael has some exciting news about his company, and we'd love for you to be there. Maybe he can give you some business advice. I looked around my office at the awards lining the walls, the industry recognition, the framed magazine covers featuring Secure Stack's meteoric rise. Sorry, I texted back. I have a board meeting tomorrow. Maybe another time. Let them keep thinking I was playing businesswoman. The game was about to get a lot more interesting. The following Wednesday, I watched through my office window as my brother stepped out of his town car in front of our building. Even from 30 floors up, I could see his uncertainty as he stared at the Secure Stack logo dominating the entrance. He's here, my assistant announced through the intercom. Send him to the junior associate conference room, I replied. I'll be there shortly. I took my time reviewing the latest product metrics on my tablet while Michael cooled his heels in our smallest meeting space. After 20 minutes, just long enough to make a point, I headed down. Through the glass walls, I could see him pacing, his designer suit slightly rumpled, his usual polished demeanor showing cracks. He was muttering into his phone. No, Dad, I'm telling you, this place is massive. Why didn't we know about? Yes, I understand the board is angry, but if we can just hold on. She's here. I pushed open the door, and Michael's phone nearly slipped from his hand. Olivia, he looked like he'd seen a ghost. What are you? This is Secure Stack. Welcome to my hobby, I said coolly, settling into a chair. I hear Anderson Global is having some security issues. He stared at me, then at the awards lining the walls, then back at me. This is your company? You're the CEO everyone's been talking about. He was surprised but sputtered. At Thanksgiving, you were just playing businesswoman. I finished for him. Please sit down. I'm sure you didn't come here to discuss holiday memories. Michael sank into a chair, his world visibly rearranging itself. The breach, he said finally. It's worse than we thought. We're losing clients daily. The board is threatening to clean house. We need the best security solution on the market. I supplied, which, as it happens, we provide. For the right price. Name it, he said immediately. Whatever you want, the board has authorized. I held up a hand. First, I want to know something. Why did Anderson Global ignore all the warning signs? David told me your security infrastructure was outdated years ago. Michael's face flushed. You hired David? Look, it was a budget issue. I argued for upgrades, but no. I cut him off. You didn't. I've seen the board minutes. You voted against the security budget increases 3 times in the past year. Called it, what was the phrase? Unnecessary tech spending. He deflated. How did you? I do my homework, Michael. Always have. Even when you were too busy mocking my dreams to notice. The silence stretched between us, heavy with years of dismissal and condescension. I'm sorry, he said finally. We were wrong. I was wrong. Yes, you were. I opened my tablet and pulled up a contract. Our standard enterprise package starts at $2 million annually. Given the scope of Anderson Global's needs, we're looking at closer to $5 million plus implementation costs. Michael's eyes widened at the numbers, but he nodded. That's fine. When can you start? Oh, I won't be handling your account personally. I smiled as I said it. You'll be working with one of our junior associates. Anderson Global will be our smallest client after all. Smallest? He looked stunned. But we're a Fortune 500 company. And we protect half of the Fortune 100, I replied. Like I said, homework. Just then, my phone buzzed, a text from Mom. Honey, Michael missed family dinner tonight. He said something about a work emergency. I hope everything's okay with his company. I showed Michael the text. Should I tell her, or would you prefer to? He ran a hand through his hair, looking suddenly older. Can we keep this between us? Just until you're ready to admit you need your little sister's help. I finished. Fine, but I want something in return. Anything, he said. Next time I'm at family dinner talking about my company, you sit there and listen. No interruptions. No condescension. No playing businesswoman comments. Deal. He nodded slowly. Deal. After Michael left, clutching the contract and looking shell-shocked, I called Mom about Thanksgiving dinner next week. I said, I'll be there, and I have some news to share. Oh, honey, that's wonderful, she gushed. You know, if it's about a job, Michael might be able to. Actually, I cut her off. It's about my company. We just landed a major new client. You might have heard of them, Anderson Global Consulting. The silence on the other end was deafening. 3 days later, David forwarded me an internal Anderson Global email announcing a major new security partnership. At the bottom was a note. All inquiries should be directed to our account manager at Secure Stack Solutions. I had it framed and hung it in my office, right next to the magazine covers. The following Thursday, I sat at my parents' Thanksgiving table again. This time, when Mom asked Michael about work, he just said quietly, "Why don't we let Olivia tell us about her company first?" Dad nearly choked on his turkey. I smiled, took a sip of wine, and began to tell them about my little hobby, the one that now protected billions in assets, employed hundreds of people, and had just saved their precious Michael's career. Success, as it turns out, does more than silence laughter. Sometimes, it changes the whole conversation. That evening, as I was leaving, Michael caught me by my car. The board approved the contract, he said. Full amount. I know, I replied. The paperwork came through this morning. He shuffled his feet. Listen, Liv, there's a position opening up, head of innovation. It could be good for both companies. I cut him off. I'm not interested in working for Anderson Global. I'm quite happy running my own billion-dollar company. His eyes widened. Billion. Did I forget to mention? We just closed our Series B, $200 million at a $1.5 billion valuation. I unlocked my car. But don't worry. I'm sure Mom and Dad will still be more impressed by your corner office. As I drove away, I caught his reflection in my rearview mirror, standing there in the driveway, looking lost. Part of me felt a twinge of sympathy, but a bigger part remembered all those years of mockery and dismissal. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't just success. It's success that can't be ignored, can't be dismissed, and most importantly, can't be lived without. The next morning, I walked into my office to find a gift basket from Anderson Global's board of directors, thanking Secure Stack for our crucial partnership in these challenging times. I had Maria send it to the break room for the team to enjoy. After all, success tastes sweetest when shared. Well, almost sweetest. The look on Michael's face when he has to attend quarterly security reviews with our junior associate? That might taste just a little bit better. Success has a way of silencing laughter. 1 minute, you're sitting at your family's Thanksgiving table, enduring their mockery of your dreams, and the next, you're signing million-dollar contracts while they scramble to understand how they got it so wrong. That's how it was for me. Olivia Mitchell, founder and CEO of Secure Stack Solutions. Though my family still saw me as their wayward daughter who'd thrown away her stable accounting career to chase some tech fantasy. More turkey, Michael? Mom beamed at my older brother, who sat at his usual place of honor at the table. Michael, the golden child, the Harvard MBA who'd landed a cushy executive position at Anderson Global, one of the largest consulting firms in the country. The vegetables for Olivia, Dad added, barely glancing my way. She needs to save money now that she's, what are you calling it? An entrepreneur? The way he said it made it sound like a dirty word. I pushed my green beans around my plate, remembering the morning's investor meeting, the one where I presented my cybersecurity platform to a room full of venture capitalists. The one my family didn't know about because they'd stopped asking about my work months ago. Actually, I started, but Michael cut me off. Speaking of work, he announced, straightening his designer tie, I've just been promoted to Senior Vice President of Strategic Operations. Mom clasped her hands together in delight. Dad's chest puffed with pride. Even my younger sister, Emma, usually absorbed in her phone, looked up with interest. That's wonderful, honey, Mom gushed. Tell us everything.